right, so how much money do you actually need to start swing trading? Because depending on who you ask online, you're gonna get some completely different answers. One person will tell you, bro, you can just start with $100. And then you got the guy on Instagram standing next to a rented Lamborghini telling you can turn 500 into 100,000.
Did you know you can have your very own Lamborghini?
Like, all right, relax. So in this video, I wanna actually break this down. I'm gonna show you guys what I think about starting with 100, 500, 1,000, and even bigger accounts, because the amount of money you need to start swing trading is completely different from the amount of money you need to make actual income from swing trading. So let's not waste time. Let's get straight to the video. So here's the thing. When someone asks me how much money do I need to start swing trading, usually that's not actually what they want to know. What they really want to know is how much money do I need to start making money? Or even more specifically, how much money do I need to make $100 a day? That's what people are actually asking. And trust me, I get it. You're here because you want to make money. That's fine. That's completely fine. But this is where your expectations can completely mess you up. Because if you have a $500 trading account and you're expecting to make $5,000 a month, you're gonna make the most dumbest risk. You almost have to. You're gonna put half of your account into some random meme stock, and you're gonna use leverage you don't understand. So before we even talk about account size, understand that your expectations need to match your account. So let's just start at the bottom. Can you swing trade with $100? Potentially, yes. But the important part is I would not look at a $100 trading account and think, how much income can I generate from this? I would think, how much can I learn from this? Because honestly, $100 is not an income account, it's more like a learning account. And I actually think there's something valuable about putting a tiny amount of real money into the market after you've learned the basics and understand what you're doing. Because paper trading is cool, I get it, but paper trading doesn't feel the same as having actual money on the line. Even if it's only $5, you're actually learning how you behave when actual money is involved. So if I had $100, I'm not trying to turn 100 to 10,000. I'm trying to prove that I can follow a system. And if you can't do that with $100, giving yourself 10,000 probably isn't gonna magically fix you. You need a bigger account if you're trying to make bigger amounts of money without taking ridiculous amount of risk. So let's use a really simple example. Let's say, purely as an example, you're using a rule where the maximum you're willing to lose on one trade is 1% of your account. I'm not saying everyone watching this should risk 1%. It's just easy math. So if your account is $100, 1% is $1. They look at somebody making $500 on a trade and think, oh, I want to do that. Okay, but how large is their account? How much were they risking? You can't just look at the dollar amount. This is why social media can completely destroy your expectations around trading, because you can see someone post like, oh, I made 3,000 today. Like I said, but with what risk? Did they have 300,000? Did they risk 10,000 to make that 3,000? Now let's say you have 500, all right? So your job at this point is not to make rent. Your job is to, I guess, honestly, just get good, because everyone wants to skip this phase. No one wants to spend 6 months getting better. They want the $1,000 day now. They want to tell everyone, they want to tell their grandma that they're a trader now.
What?
You can call yourself whatever you want. The market is going to take your money just the same way. So if you're trading 500, embrace the fact that you're small.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You can build bad habits. You can figure out what type of trader you actually are, because you might think you want to stare at charts all day, and then you realize that's the most dumbest thing you can do in trading. Shout out to the day traders out there, because that's actually one reason I love swing trading. I'm not trying to sit there watching every single tick on the 1 minute chart like my life depends on it. I can find setups, plan trades, manage risk, and then give the trade time. Now let's take it up a notch. Let's just say you have $1,000. This is probably the number where a lot of people start thinking, okay, now I can actually make some real money. And yes, that's true. You can make money. You can also lose money. Let's not forget that part, okay? But again, the problem isn't whether 1,000 can produce a profitable trade. Obviously it can. But the problem is your expectations. So if your goal is, I need to make 300 today, and the market isn't giving you a good setup, you're gonna start inventing setups in your head, and suddenly something that you would normally ignore looks pretty good to trade. And this is why having realistic expectations with a $1,000 account matters so much. Of course, you're gonna see people online who supposedly took 100 to 10,000 or 1,000 to 100,000 or whatever, and maybe some of those stories are completely real. They're not. But here's the problem. You don't see everyone who tried the exact same thing that blew up. No one's gonna post day 17 of my $500 to $50,000 challenge, but now I have $14 left. No one cares. And that can distort your perception of what's normal. It's like walking into a casino, seeing someone win a jackpot and think like, oh, so that's the strategy. No, you just saw the outcome. You didn't necessarily see a repeatable process. And that's the distinction you need to understand. Trading isn't about asking what's possible. Almost anything is possible. It's what can I do repeatedly without eventually destroying my account. So what changes after 5,000? Now we're gonna get to a good amount of capital for a lot of people. Again, I'm not saying you need 5,000. I'm not telling you to deposit 5,000. I'm saying let's understand what changes. So the biggest thing with 5,000 is the flexibility. But as you guys know, the bigger your account, the more your mistakes cost. If you have terrible risk management of a $500 account, yeah, that's bad. But if you have a terrible risk management on a $50,000 account, you get the point. So the amount of money you have doesn't fix the underlying problem. So if you're impatient, you're still impatient. If you revenge trade, you're still gonna revenge trade. That's why I think you earn the right to trade larger size. Not because some guy on YouTube tells you, oh bro, you need a $10,000 account. No, you earn it by proving to yourself that you can execute consistently, like I said earlier. And this is just a side note. Don't be embarrassed about how small your account is.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Seriously, I see a lot of people online acting like having a $500, $1,000 account is somehow embarrassing. Who cares? It's your money, you're learning. You don't need to impress some random dude in a Discord server. You don't need a rented Lamborghini in your profile picture. Like, dog, relax. Just learn, protect your money, get better, and then that's it. Oh, and please do not borrow money to do this. This should go without saying, but apparently it doesn't. Don't go into debt because you've watched 3 trading videos and now you think you're some type of guru that cracked the system. Please don't take your credit card and say, oh, it's cool, I'll just make the interest back. No, never build your entire financial life around the assumption that your next trade is gonna work, all right? So trading always has risk. You don't need to stack financial desperation on top of it. So yeah, if you're new to swing trading, don't obsess over starting with some massive amount. Start with what actually makes sense for you. So learn the game, learn risk management, and then worry about scaling and all that stuff later. And also, if you want to actually learn this stuff with other people instead of just watching videos and then figuring out everything by yourself, I have a Discord link below. We talk entries, exits, trading psychology, risk management, all that stuff. So if you've been watching these videos and you're serious about getting better at swing trading, links in the description. And obviously, don't join expecting some magical signal that's gonna make you rich overnight. That's not what I'm trying to build. Subscribe if you wanna follow the rest of the swing trading series, and I'll see you guys in the next video.